is being jealous, cause I'm the right in their minds. In their minds, swear with me, boy, don't go cry. In their minds, come on, at me, boy, there's a fight. In their minds.
One of the serious title protagonists here in the Philippines Football League 2024 in Davao Aguilas UMak FC will welcome the challenge of another streaking club in Loyola FC. As we welcome you to the final match of this Sunday evening, it is Davao Aguilas UMak going up against Loyola FC. Levi Aurora on the call alongside Claro Manzano. Will welcome Naj Miravalles in just a short while. And eto na nga, Claro, one of the teams na bagamat underdog yung kanilang mindset dito, they are a legitimate title threat here for this league right here.
Tama nga, Davao has been a role as of late. Underdog tag, but what we could say is they've been performing so well. Parang hindi underdog diba? They've been really taking it to the lower ranked teams in this one. And let's see how they will be able to fare here because they have a chance to jump ship as we see in the standings. Davao currently number 4, but a win here will propel them to number 2. That is because of goal difference. But for Loyola, on the other hand, as Coach Kit Salangit did say, number 8 sila, but they want to realistically make it to the top 4. But if we simplify it of sorts, tanda natin, the 10 or top 10 will be able to be retained dito sa top flight ng Philippine football. So that's the implications here as we look at the standings.
You did see the league table there katatapos lamang ng Stallion Laguna and United City FC moments earlier, and Davao has a chance to go as high as number 2. Speaking of the Davao Aguilas, ito ang kanilang mga nakaraang resulta, a convincing win against Don Bosco Garelli, pero tingnan nyo yung dalawa sa ilalim, tumabla ang 1 tagig sa kanila, so that's just 1 point earned from that match, pero nilusutan nila yung Stallion Laguna, and that gave them the upper hand in the league table right now. Although, of course, Stallion, by virtue of that draw against United City moments earlier, right now nakakaangat.
That's right. But we see here yung panalo nila versus DB Garelli United FC. They were very undermanned. Wala yung dalawang sato. Just to name a few of them. And then that bump in the road, yung draw versus Taguig FC. That is the only match wherein they dropped points. So they haven't lost yet. So you could still say that they are undefeated kasi puro panalo at isang draw so far.
We will talk about Davao in detail further after this, but now let's turn the attention to Loyola FC. 3-match winning streak here. Definitely a confidence booster heading against one of the tougher opponents here in this league.
That's right. When we refer to Loyola FC, kita nga natin they have been on a roll. But let's somewhat manage, or not just manage expectations, but let's give a reality check here, or a heat check, because these were wins against lower ranked teams. So Loyola was somewhat expected to take the W right here. Wins are wins, let's take it, right? Because we are not downplaying the way Loyola has been performing. Pero ang tanong, can they take it to the next level? Can they, let's say, cause havoc or someone play spoilers to Davao Aguilas who are in the hunt for the title? And if Loyola do get it, that will be a case or testament to show that they can take it to the next level, which we were mentioning earlier.
For more on this match, let's turn it over to our pitch side reporter, Naj Miravalles, who's standing by with this report.
For Coach Aber Rusgal, the key to winning games is properly doing the things that they practice. And the past weeks daw, ang talagang nag-focus sila is ang kanilang opensa dahil daw minsan daw nahihirapan sila mag-convert. Though the underdog mentality no longer applies, Coach Aber believes na in every practice dapat parang preparation yan, like you're facing the strongest team. Para sa Loyola naman, Coach Roxy is satisfied with how they're performing so far. And dahil nga meron silang versatile players, he believes that they can be unpredictable. Kaya kahit daw mahirap na kalaban ng Davao Aguilas, they believe that they are a threat to them. Gentlemen.
We will have the official march in of the players, and we will bring you kick-off, so do stick around. Davao Aguilas UMak versus Loyola in just a short while. lang natin narito klaro yung mga match officials which we saw on your screens just moments earlier. Loyola FC in their white with gold trim, and opposite Davao Aguilas UMak FC, makikita natin in just a short while in their blue and red. The familiar color scheme here for that squad. Finalists of the Copa Paulino Alcantara last year, just really trying to build off that meaningful, successful campaign that they had. And these are the match officials. The referee is Raymart De Los Santos. The assistant referees Ryan Flores and Brian Buergo. The fourth official is Jesus Abogado, and they are joined by Alan Martinez as the referee assessor. Your match commissioner is Cristina Ramos. Moments away from the start of this match, let's take a look at the starters for both squads. Unahin na natin yung Davao Aguilas UMak FC, which we will be showing on your screens in just a short while. Familiar names here. Nakita na natin doon sa mismong shots that we had of them earlier. And there they are, playing that 4-3-3. Take us through the starters here, Claro.
Tama nga, the players na pinakita kanina sa shots, and they are definitely the ones to look out for. Nandito si Daisuke Sato, who will be playing at the back. Nandun si Cartalaro and OJ Clarino also in this starting 11. And mind you, it is also Shoma Sato who is back dito para sa Sato and Friends squad. I would like to label them as. We'll get through that earlier.
That's such a capable starting 11 for Davao. But again, Loyola on a winning streak right here. Ito ang mga players na magsisimula para sa kanila.
Oo, and just to add to the people, what's interesting, Frank Ano or Frank Isaac Ano is getting his first start. He's been coming off the bench as of late. He joined Loyola mid-season, or was only able to play mid-season because he played out his eligibility in the UAAP with DLSU. But we're about to kick off, Levi, and we'll just run through the other players, or the main players, in a bit. But looks like we do have a bit of time. So Jorel Aristorenas, yung main playmaker nila as this one is off.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Davao Aguilas UMak playing from left to right on your screens. Loyola, nakaputi, playing from right to left. And we talked about Jorel Aristorenas, long-time Stallion player, now with Loyola, and has been experiencing quite a resurgence sa kanyang career.
Quite a short stint with Stallion, I would say. But it was a little, you could say it was fruitful because nagka-AFC Cup siya dun. So that's one player, si Frank Ano. I had to mention him because it is his first start. Frank Isaac Ano, as he said, is his name. Frank Isaac is one name, hindi daw Frank or Isaac, as I got to ask him. And alongside him, si William the Winter Soldier, one of their big cogs on offense. Tapos si Charlie Beaton will be on the wing. You can expect a lot of Aristorenas and Beaton combinations in hopes of finding the Winter Soldier. Or also Frank Ano, mind you. Or Frank Isaac, as he said.
It's a 4-4-2 here for Loyola. Meanwhile, possession now with Davao. Davao with 19 points on the strength of 6 wins and a draw. The draw again is against One Taguig. Pero ang maganda rito, tinalo nila yung Stallion. And now they have, of course, yung kanilang kapalaran, hawak nila. So it's a short season, 14 matches. You just play everyone once. And that's it. There's no second round. There's no third round. Kaya on top of the leaderboard as it stands with 22. And a superior goal difference. Dynamic Herb Cebu with 21 points. Stallion pumapangatlo. And then Davao in fourth. Final match of the week. And again, klaro, they can go as high as number 2 kung matatalo nila itong Loyola, itong Davao.
Right, at kita nga natin earlier, UCFC and Stallion Laguna playing to a draw. So because of that, those two teams were not able to get quite close to Davao sa standings natin. So less pressure, but mind you, number 4 yung Davao. They want to be in the top. They want to chase number 1. So Yes, may konting luxury, no? But mission's not done.
You have to earn the points right here. Loyola on paper, obviously at a disadvantage, but it is 0-0 as it stands. Davao susubukang kumawala. Here is an incursion. Dalapo and a foul earned. It's going to be a set piece, although may kalayuan. It has potential here for Davao early on.
That's right. It's in the attacking and pretty much. So we saw Kalukaran was able to clear the ball but bumped Dalapo in the process. Tandaan nga natin si Dalapo yung hero, scoring the lone goal in Davao's win versus Stallion Laguna FC. And that was off the bench, mind you. Coach Aber emerging as the victor sa chess match na yun.
What a match that was, and could decide the final position of both Davao and Stallion. That's why every match counts here in the Philippines Football League 2024. Any moment now for Davao.
All goals too, mind you.
It's a shot on goal collected by Javi Coscolwela. First challenge of the night for this young keeper.
Coscolwela, as we know again, like all goalkeepers, really taking pride in clean sheets. Everyone goes for goals again. Keepers, yan, clean sheet yung nahabol nila.
Coscolwela, of course, saw action for Maharlika, made the switch to Loyola in the Copa. Paulino Alcantara, and now back with the squad. Pupunta sa kanan ang Davao. Weaving past the traffic, and then the intended pass takes a deflection. Corner for the Aguilas.
So it's Davao as expected on paper, taking the initiative, the higher-ranked team, and they're displaying it right now. When be wary on the counter, nag-aabang si Charlie Beaton sa half line.
Masyadong mababa on the corner kick, but it will be recycled. Still Davao, extended possession here. Talarok. It looks like they earn another corner. Early encouraging signs here for Davao Aguilas. Nakakalimang minuto pa lang tayo rito. Corner number 2, much more height that time. But looks like a player from Loyola is able to get to it. Play continues.
Loyola, a lot smaller players.
Here's the cutback. And the shot is in. That one took a deflection of Javi Coscolwela, but it costs them. And it is now 1-0 Davao Aguilas.
That's the dream start. That's the ideal start that you want right here as Dini Watara brings out his celebration off camera. I hope we can get a look at that.
We'll just get confirmation as to kung sino ang nakakonvert dito. But here's what happened from a deep angle. Might have been a pass, but again, Javi Coscolwela trying to deflect it, but it went the wrong way. Here's another look.
I believe it's Dalapo. Oh, Coscolwela got his glove to it. That's unfortunate, but there you go. Oriel Dalapo magic. Unfortunate. You'll take it for Davao though, as I've said earlier. Piling up the pressure, that's why you cause a team like Loyola to crack. A little inexperienced of sorts. Pero dito sa perspective or the perspective of Loyola, disgrasya goal. I was just saying, and we were just talking about yung corner kick matchups. Loyola seem to have a lot more smaller players here. That's bigla. Oriel Dalapo working his magic.
And now it is Endure. But not enough players from Davao inside the box. Medyo nakakagulat nga na goal for Loyola. Or rather for Davao, as Loyola just unable to mark itong si Oriel Dalapo.
You can say nakakagulat dito for Loyola kasi disgrasya sa depensa. But Oriel Dalapo getting another one to add to his name. And that is Dalapo's second of the season.
From the moment na na-control ni Dalapo yung bola, I think a strong second touch. Nilagay niya yung bola kung saan niya gusto and then just burst of speed. And that resulted fruitfully dito para sa Davao Aguilas. Much to the delight of their, of course, fans in attendance. You saw it moments earlier, always giving that festive atmosphere here inside Rizal Memorial.
Of course, that's the supporters of Davao Aguilas UMak.
Endure leaves this one, could be goal number 2. Here's the shot, it's in, and it is now 2-0 Davao Aguilas.
There you go. It looks like it's Yusuke Onoki just hitting the throttle there, leaving everyone behind. And he just did his thing right there. Dream start for the Aguilas.
Well, Davao playing the way they are expected to. Let's see this once again. And this was the goal from Unoki after the costly commit nitong ni Javi Coscolluela. But you can't really fault him dahil sobrang bilis nung pasa at nung setup para kay Yusuke Unoki. Hindi na nakarecover yung back line nitong Loyola.
Loyola's defense in a mess. Kita nga natin, si Aristoreros yung nag-chase down yung central midfielder. That's good of your midfielder. Pero nasaan yung center back nila? Wade was behind, having to chase also, trailing.
That was a great setup by Endo Endure. Let's give credit to Endure who really made that possible. A through ball, alam niya kung saan ilalagay, and then the finish by Unoki. They double the lead. A dream start here for the Davao Aguilas. Dini Watara, first touch of the evening for him. Nauna pa yung celebration dito for Watara bago makapag-save.
How often do you say that, no? But with the goal of Yusuke Onoki, yan ang goal number 6 for him now. One of their Japanese foreign players. Si Sato and friends nga, Yusuke Onoki is one of them. Sato and friends again because nandun si Daisuke Sato, yung superstar nila. Sino yung susunod na superstar? Wala. What we have here, we have hard-working, high-class, or skilled role players.
A shot from distance here will force Watara to commit. Trying to take one back itong Loyola FC. That was from way out. And who else but Jorel Aristorenas.
It's no surprise Jorel Aristorenas doing that, of course. The pitch Picasso, as their fan base calls him.
Loyola able to salvage a corner here. It is beaten. Good elevation. Watara able to deflect that. And luckily for Davao, no second chances for Loyola as they will put this one out for now.
You see Davao are waiting a bit in the half line, that midfield block. Well, then again, lamang sila, di ba? 2-0 early on.
And when you're up 2-0, claro, it will change the complexion of the match right away. You can even say that yung game plan that you have before the start of the contest, medyo mag-iiba. There's going to be some leeway now that you have this advantage.
That's right. Some leeway, pero disgrasya nga dito for Loyola because they're not able to execute. They have to adjust immediately on the fly.
They go directly into the box. This might be trouble, but luckily again for Davao, the back line was able to get a touch. The ball will stay with Loyola for now. And this is the challenge that Loyola has in front of them. Again, 3-match winning streak, but against the lower tier opponents. Ito yung pinagkaiba kapag ang natapat sa'yo lehitimong title contender na. And that's what Loyola wants to do. To take it to the next level, maipakita sa ating lahat na kaya nilang pantayan yung level ng mga kaya, ng mga Cebu, ng mga Davao.
And right, this is one of the tests right here. But then again, they won the games against lower-ranked teams. Wins or wins, credit to them, right? Pero heat check ito. Kaya ba nila i-push palalo yung winning streak nila?
That's the perfect way to describe it. It is a heat check, and this is no pushover opponent. Corner number 3 at the very least for Davao. Talarok ulit ang designated taker. Here's the delivery. That one bounces off Loyola. More established ang kanilang depensa sa pagkakataon na yun. No trouble that time from distance and captured by Coscolluela.
Execution could have been a little bit better there, of course. Hopefully, or it would have been better if he got it out wide. That's where he had some teammates. But the initiative of Javi Coscolluela there was to play it quick.
And as you can see, Davao being very aggressive here, even after taking a 2-goal advantage early on. They send it back to Unoki, one of the goal scorers, kontra number 10 ng kabila na si Kalukaran. And that one takes a deflection. Corner number 4 for Davao.
Tandaan nga natin here for Davao, 4 shots already taken, 4 on target. Or from the 4 on target, 2 have led to goals already. So a tough one here for Loyola, but for Davao, props to them, right? We're looking in the perspective of both teams.
Entering minute number 15. Good height again, but it does not meet the intended man. Well, good for Davao. It's a second opportunity here. They will get Watara involved momentarily. And Loyola also a bit late to really go up and try to press itong Davao. They're wary of the counter-attack. Endure in the middle. Lots of space now for Talarok, who can distribute this. And they go once again inside the box. Here's the cross. And finally, that time, able to stop was Loyola.
The last corner kick actually, it was taken or sent to the edge of the box. Kaya nakuha ni William Winter. You want it a little bit in the middle para hindi makuha ng keeper, pero medyo ng opposing keeper, pero medyo malapit sa goal.
And that is why the coaches, of course, pinipili rin nila kung sino yung kukuha ng mga corner kick. Kung sino yung accurate mag-deliver.
Just possibly a miss-hit right there, no? Kanina sa corner kick.
Obviously, that was Talarok already. He has been the designated man. And now this could open up to be a counter. Endure, tracks it down. Still Endure, not enough support yet for Davao. Now there is. A shot from way out is wide.
But you don't really mind there because you have a 2-0 lead, right? But what you want to do now is sustain it wave after wave, not giving momentum to your opponents.
But if you're Loyola and you find yourself down 2 goals against such a legitimate contender of an opponent, how do you just handle that pressure and continue to play the game?
Well, first, of course, you're going to have to stay calm, regroup. When you have the ball, of course, you want to make or create offense for you. You don't panic, of course, when you're under pressure. Easier said than done, of course.
At yun nga ang nasusubukan dito for Loyola as they find themselves down 2 goals with just 17 minutes of football action into this match. Philippines Football League 2024. This is the final match of this week, the final match of this triple header at the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium on this Sunday evening. Glad to have you join us. Once again, Levi Verora on the call alongside Claro Manzano. We're also joined by Naj Miravalles and our director, Koyo Bangko. Let's take a look at the possession control here so far. Claro, what are we seeing here from Davao?
I think you can expect that number to be even a bit higher for Davao with the way they've been playing and converting it to goals. Kita nga natin because of their early aggression. So what you want now for Davao is you have the 2 goals but never give up momentum.
Too much physicality that time around from Briseño as he took down Aristorenas.
And that's a wound we see on the knee of Jorel Aristorenas. And we look at the team sheet actually dito sa Loyola. Harada and Kobayashi are missing. Also, we just wanted to make a correction. We had the erroneous information that Kobayashi played for Ceres. That is not the case. Our apologies for not checking that right away. So he did have significant stints in Cambodia and in Thailand, actually. And there you go. They're missing an experienced man in Daisuke Kobayashi. Pati si Harada, wala dito para sa Loyola.
And also another foreigner who's not in uniform tonight. You have Anan and Asare. Familiar faces in the local football scene here. Loyola just trying to make the most out of what they have here. Carrying the 3-match winning streak with them. Set piece from distance. They send it inside the box. Second ball, but that one goes wide. Goal kick for Ouattara.
Yun nga, there's also players not playing here for Loyola or not on the team sheet for today. Si Asare, one of their cogs starting 11 or one of their main men or fixtures. And as to Anan, of course, it's understandable given his questionable performances at goal. That weak link from them during in their losses, mind you, right? That's why it looks like they found their groove with Javi Coscoluela as their goalkeeper. Pero this marks the second game again, or even but potentially the second straight game. Walang goalkeeper or walang backup goalkeeper kay Javi Coscoluela.
Well, Coscoluela will have to manage not just the 90-minute stretch here, but also his health. He was injury lang. So there are going to be no backups. Meanwhile, counter-attack time for Davao. Here's a difficult angle, really, to create, and it's going to go out.
Just running out of space, tas wala ng angulo, right? They wanted to get across, but Ibrahima Indoor didn't get the ideal touch to it. Dito naman para sa Davao Aguilas UMak FC, they are, or the likes of Quezumon, Chunmon, and Villarreal are not eligible. That is suspension.
Now, the thing here for Loyola is against Cebu, they lost 5-0, as we see a foul there. And then, so perhaps your goal, as we see these two players get entangled. Oh, obvious shove there from Eman Kante.
But the foul committed that he won was first. May extra action na lang yan. He wants to get into his opponent's head. But mind you, that extra action can get you a yellow card. 2 yellow cards again in a game will mean that you'll be taken off.
Here's the long one. But Unoki able to attend to that, rather.
Unoki got the first touch there as that Loyola ball was driven in. Unideal. That's why they had to play ping pong inside. And Loyola almost had a chance earlier nga dun. But couldn't make Davao pay. And this matchup is great to see because it reminds you of the first years or so of the Philippines Football League, yung Loyola and Davao, both founding clubs, right? And it's great to see these two clubs return, right, after their absence from the league for a while.
Flag stays down. Here's the cross from Isaac Ano. Intended for Kante, pero masyadong malayo. And finally, that possession ends here for Loyola. Loyola has played Stallion. They lost 5-0. They've also played Cebu. They lost 5-0. So against Davao, perhaps your immediate goal is to have a more respectable scoreline here. Not only that, sana hindi ka mablanko, sana maka-score.
Well, of course, being a competitor, you don't want to go for the number of goals you lose by, but you want to play to win every single time. But, of course, outside looking in, Levi, we can understand that perspective. But here, they're definitely frustrated with this, especially how yung first goal naging regalo, but we're not taking anything away right from Oriel Dalapo because he set that up. But I think Javi Coscoluela could have handled that better.
And obviously not the start for Loyola that they wanted, especially with the momentum from those 3 straight victories. Talarok unable to handle on the first touch. And a whistle. Loyola will win this one back. I think by now Loyola's starting to settle, and now it's a matter of really stringing together some passes here. As let's send it over to our pitch side reporter, Naj Miravalles, who has this report.
Having a player with the right attitude and has the winning mentality like Jorel Aristorenas, Coach Roxy believes he is a great asset to the team because he's the type of leader that brings out the best in his teammates and doesn't only work on himself but also helps in improving the performance of his teammates. And they know that this kind of positivity starting from Jorel and emanating from everyone is their biggest strength. Now let's see how that will help them to come back in today's game. Gentlemen.
Pretty much, Naj, and well, sabihin na natin, Jorel Aristorenas is one of the veterans of this Loyola side. The rest, probably in their mid-20s, medyo bata-bata pa, and they will really need that experience and the mentorship of someone who has been there longer than they've had.
Tama nga. And, excuse me, sorry, but I'm gonna say it kasi halos kaedad ko sila si Jorel Aristorenas and Charlie Beaton. Sila yung mga tito ng team nila because they were around, they reached Phil Younghusband, James Younghusband, the Hartmans, you name it, that long list of elite players with Loyola. That's why when Coach Roxy reincarnated this team dito sa PFL, Coach Roxy was the third assistant, as James Hall said. Si James Hall, player siya dati, and is an assistant also now to Coach Roxy. Kaya nandun sila in Aristorenas and Beaton. Once younger players, pero ayun, gagamitin na yung experience nila because these guys still continue to play kahit nawala yung beloved club nila.
Dalawa yung bola sa loob, so they will have to send one out before action resumes. And Ano obliges back to action here. 25 minutes in, and it's 2-0 for Davao Aguilas UMak. Sila po yung naka-blue and red. Loyola in white with gold trim. And Uriel Dalapo in the 5th minute. Yuzuke Unoki in the 9th minute. Back-to-back goals within a 5-minute stretch. And that is the scoreline so far on your screens. 2-0 for Davao Aguilas UMak, the finalists of the previous Copa Paulino Alcantara, in a very good position to really challenge the likes of Kaya, Dynamic Herb Cebu, and Stallion for that title.
Tandaan nga natin, Davao, again, not one of the more star-studded teams, making do with what they have as compared to the others, no? Their resources are more limited, as we've heard. But they've been getting wins with small scorelines, and that's understandable, right? Because you win 1-0, you still get 3 points, right? But what they want to do now, if you get a chance to pack up the goals, you should do so. Kasi baka tiebreaker yung goal difference. But mind you, as much as we're saying Davao doesn't really have that high-octane offense na score ng score lagi, tambak yung kalaban, they've only conceded, or they barely conceded sa itong season. It's only 1 goal by my count.
And that's always been the identity for
Or 2.
Davao. Yes.
Sorry, 2 goals already.
Especially for Coach Aber John Ruzgal. Much of the credit also from the outside goes to Coach Aber as far as just instilling that mindset, that identity for Davao. They've shown that doon nga sa Cup where they only lost to Kaya in the final. And now another realistic chance here to win it all. Endure will try to track this down. Cleared by Loyola into a throw-in for Davao. And if you have been hearing in the background, may mga drums tayo. That's from the Davao side, always here to support their club. Loyola on the other side of the grandstand as well. Their fans.
It's a great atmosphere, right? Both teams with a strong fan base. We know with Loyola's supporter or fan group, Frente, they were never gone. They were supporting their grassroots. That's what you call a football club. Nawala yung senior team for a while, right, from the PFL. Pero tinuloy yung academy nila ng Loyola FC. And I'm also aware that the same eventually went for Davao Aguilas UMak. They eventually established or they had their academy going already. And with a player like Daisuke Sato, nandito sila. Sato also spearheading the football school, teaching football the Japanese way. Kasi tandaan nga natin, Daisuke Sato has a Japanese father also and was exposed to the culture well, as much as he is a national team player for the Philippines.
Best of both worlds yung exposure ni Sato sa beautiful game. Watara had another touch here, more activity in the midfield now. And Clarino, wise choice there to just backtrack a little bit. Now they send that ball to the middle. Again, Davao can afford to be this patient with this cushion that they have on the strength of 2 goals. A bit more pressure now from Loyola. You want that if you're the white shirts. Let's see if it will translate into anything later on.
We've seen games where tahimik si William Winter and then all of a sudden gets his engines running to find the back of the net for Loyola or to score. So will that be another case? But you want to avoid yung slow starts for obvious reasons.
Nangyari na nga ang nangyari rito in the first few minutes with Davao scoring 2 quick goals. It's really a matter of how Loyola will approach the remaining time here. Nakakalahating oras na tayo dito halos, klaro, which gives us the time to remind everyone that Star Polaris is the official match ball of the Philippines Football League 2024. Glad to have you join us once again from the historic Rizal Memorial Football Stadium. It is Davao and Loyola. Davao with a 2-0 advantage so far. Half an hour into this match, the final match of this triple header on this Sunday.
And tandaan nga natin, we saw where offense came from dito para sa Davao Aguilas. Their second leading scorer, si Yusuke Onoki, fired 1 for them. Tapos si Uriel Dalapo, 2 goals for Uriel Dalapo this season. Both are crucial when you assess the game situation. The first one was to give him the win, right? A 1-0 win, a grind it out result for them versus Stallion. Tapos ito, number 2, to give them to put them in the driver's seat.
Dalapo once again trying to terrorize the left. They send it for Endure. Someone got in the way for Loyola. Great timing on the part of the defense of Loyola. Will this open up to a counter? Not quite, but they get it back. And now a chance from the right.
I think that was ball from what I saw from afar.
Great timing by, of course, no less than Daisuke Sato, as this might be a counter-attack for Davao this time. Endure sends it. That one just bounces off one of the posts. It's still with Davao. The shot deflected. And finally into safety as Aluwade makes a difference.
It's nothing but praise there for Davao, as we've been talking about it dito sa ating laro. But for Loyola, yes, their defense could have improved to even avoid that situation. But after, you love it.
Talarok once again, and that forces Javi to commit, changing direction, and then the shot. It's going to be a long evening here for Coscolluela.
Tama. As we see, launching this one, Coscolluela was called to action. And I just want to say yung spell kanina, right? Some suspect defending from Loyola. But after nag-recover, clean up the garbage. Support Javi Coscolluela. And we saw that sa backline nila. But here it's not done, right? Because they weren't able to recontrol it. We can't really add for Davao because they're doing it. Possession in, minute out. Yan ginagawa nila, tuloy-tuloy.
Unoki, good elevation, poked away. And whistles blown by the referee. Goal kick for Cosculluela. 33 minutes have gone by. Raymart de los Santos there on your screen, our referee for this match, assisted by Ryan Flores and Brian Huergo. The fourth official is Jesus Abogado. Pressure from the back for Davao. Here's another aspect of this match, Claro, that Loyola has to really overcome. How to bring that ball from final third to at least the midfield for a start.
Tama nga. We were mentioning it earlier, no? Anong kailangan gawin ng Loyola? So they have to be able to handle that ball under pressure, form those triangles, and get it up quickly.
Really just starts with a few good passes. Hindi mo pwedeng madalain yung possession mo, but at the same time, you have to protect the ball. They lose it, and now here's Clarino. Oh, a bit of miscommunication here. Rare opportunity for Loyola to run, but just like that, it's been solved by Sato. Daisuke Sato, that is.
The veteran taking it to the youngster, Daisuke Sato. Just with that tackle, easy tackle to deny William Winter.
Textbook interception here by the longtime national team player. Aakyat ngayon ang mga player ng Davao to their attacking half. Lots of space here in the midfield. They take their time. Endure, directing. 2-0 for Davao. They send it into the box. Wade making his presence felt. The possession is not over here.
Ramdam ng Loyola na wala si Asare sa backline nila, no? Kasi madalas Asare and Wade yung pairing or the two players for them in the defense in the 4-4-2 formation.
And just the activity of Asare here disrupting the opposing offense. And now it's once again inside the box. They flick it outside. I think Teddy Travis had a touch. Sequence not over. Still, it is Davao. Sapal this time.
This type of play you're seeing right here, this is what Sato and Friends is about. Dominance for them.
Really just possession control here. And now finally it's taken back by Loyola. They do have some numbers here. Pero masyadong nagmadali on that through ball trying to connect.
Just want to remind you, of course, we can say that internal bet is on inside Davao. If they do get to play AFC football, Coach Aber will wear a suit in their game, as it was jokingly said with Luis Ataide. Luis Ataide, mind you, is their assistant team manager and is active.
Davao now in the middle. Talarok unable to turn. Got impeded that time around. This ball will go out. And that's a great point that you brought up because there's something at stake here in the Philippines Football League 2024. Aside from the title itself, the #1 ranked team will, of course, go to the AFC Champions League 2. And then the second ranked team will be in the qualification for the AFC Champions League 2. So there's something at stake here beyond the title as Talarok gets taken down. I believe that was outside the box.
Seems like it from the signal of the referee. So the it will be the #1 ranked team with an AFC license. So it's pretty much the established clubs that in the PFL that have an AFC license to play in such competitions. As we saw the foul committed right here.
Very much outside the box, but an obvious foul at that. So it's going to be an encouraging spot here for Davao to take this. Eh, dapat trabahuhin na nila yung license nila. Who knows, they might end up 1 or 2 here.
That's right. I'd definitely like to get an update there, no? Some status. But mind you, the #2 team will be getting the qualification spot to the AFC Champions League 2 should Kaya FC be the champions in the PFL. Tandaan nga natin, Kaya have or are guaranteed a qualifying spot in the AFC Champions League 2 thanks to their victory in the Copa Paulino Alcantara last year, late 2023, at the expense of Davao Aguilas UMak, who sure did give them a run for their money. As we've got the likes of Daisuke Sato standing up to this one.
It is a 4-man wall here for Loyola to try and disrupt any moment now. Once the signal is given, Javi Cosculluela, of course, also standing by for this eventual incursion. Here's the shot, takes a deflection of Ano, and eventually out into another corner for Davao.
So we did see it did not go to the wall, but it sure did go to one of the players at the corner dito. But it's cruise control for Davao. From the way they're playing, you can expect more goals from them, because you don't want to take an early goal or early goals, then all of a sudden, just let the opposing team dictate play. We've seen that sometimes. 1-0, maaga yung lead. But with the way a team is playing in some games, it's not the case. But here, it's all the way for Davao. Puro Cruz controlling the game.
Lob there by Unoki. Nothing materializing yet for Davao. But again, the possessions continue to extend here. That's something Loyola has to work on moving forward. Just cut the time Davao has the ball.
On possession, definitely Davao's way. 9 shots launched so far, 6 on target, mind you. That's a 66% accuracy.
Clarino gathers. Talarok, and now to Shoma Sato. Getting into the path of that was Frank Isaac. Ano, pagkakataon for Loyola. Pero mabilis ring nakababa ang Davao. Aristorenas to Closa. It will stay with Loyola. Let's see if there is an encouraging spell here before them. Closa throws it.
You want some time on the ball for them. Even if you pass it back, just allow Davao or just allow your team to get into formation. But here they seem to take it forward too quickly.
Kept alive by Davao, and eventually they manage that well. Shoma Sato gives it to one of the fullbacks in Clarino.
And OJ Clarino, very experienced, an attacker in his younger years. As this rattled around, it came off of Winter, trying to keep it here.
Ano keeps it alive. They have numbers here. Play continues as it could be advantage. That one took a bounce, and it's going to be a first corner for Loyola.
But you see, it's Winter who is down, right? Dun dahil sa banggaan kanina.
He did make that possession possible. Although it was Frank Isaac Ano who had the interception, but eventually those two teamed up to try and counter. At the very least, they earn a corner, and they can obviously just be in the proper position to come up with something here.
That's what I suspected initially. It's the head. That's why they were doing some checks on Winter, because it was the head that he hit.
And it looks like Loyola will momentarily be down to 10 men as they take this corner set piece. 2-0 Davao. We are about 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half plus added. Corner taken. Ang ganda ng ikot doon. Deflected by Watara, but no second ball for Loyola.
That's about the second time he didn't get safe hands on the ball.
This could pretty much open up to a counter for Davao. Talarok targets Endure. What will they do here? Endure takes his time. Sends it back to the middle. Plenty of time here for Davao. Down to 10 men ang Loyola.
Earlier, you saw communication between 30 Closa and Cosculluela. Cosculluela thought about charging off dun, no? Kay Endure, I believe. Pero sabi ni Closa, ako dito. That's what you need, regardless of team. Whether it's Davao or whether it's Loyola.
Davao backpedaling a little bit here. Sapal gives it to the left side this time. Again, this is just the leeway that Davao can afford, being up 2-0. Well, not in any way the level of play has gone down. They're just managing the clock better now.
And what they can do here, they're just wearing down that Loyola defense, making them chase the ball. Davao, of course, hawak nila yung bola. So they get to dictate pace. Loyola, you see, chasing the ball around.
Davao involving everyone from left to right during that sequence. Trying to intercept sa gitna a couple of counterparts from Loyola, including Charlie Beaton. But again, covering this much ground if you're Loyola at some point in the 60s and the 70th minute, it's really going to tire you out. And again, you have to manage your substitutions here. You can only afford 5. Loyola has 7 active substitutes.
You saw the press there from Ano earlier, but no support. There was a gap in the middle. That's why Davao brought the ball up.
Changing direction here. Could be goal number 3 if they don't deflect this. And finally, out of trouble for now. As that one takes a deflection into another corner set piece for the Aguilas.
Looks like that was Dalapo who tried to backheel it because his back was turned. Credit to him for trying that. You want to get it quickly because if he's going to turn, kita nga natin, that's time for the defense to recover.
Corner taken short here for Davao. Uzoki changes direction once again. Here's the lob inside, but no connection made. Oh, it's still alive. They just assume that ball will go out. Loyola attending to that, but they throw it away. Davao will recycle 30 seconds plus added time left in the first half. 2 goals for Davao, Uriel Dalapo in the 5th, Yusuke Unoki in the 9th. 2-0 ang kalamangan dito ng Davao. Loyola comes up with something. They have the numbers. They have to be smart here. Aristorenas back to Travis. And just like that, they lose it.
We could have expected Travis to bring it up much quicker there. There you go.
3 minutes of added time here in the first half. 3 more minutes of action before the conclusion of what has been, sabihin na natin, a dominant first half for Davao.
That's right. 2 goals on my cushion now, but with the way that they are playing, you expect more. You expect them to be more lethal in finishing.
Endure sees Clarino with lots of room from the right. The on-rushing player. Sequence not done yet, but finally Cante able to attend to that, and now Cante ang magbababa ng bola. But great presence of mind as well for Talarok.
It would have been spectacular if Cante nailed it, but of course, if he could have held up play for a bit, let numbers to settle, it could have possibly been better for them.
There are, of course, not just 2 Satos on the field for Davao, but also 2 Talaroks, okay? Kurt Talarok and Richard Talarok Jr. So it's not just, sabihin na natin, Sato and Talarok and friends. Yun yung team composition ng Davao.
Right, and those 2 Talaroks, of course, the brothers are absolute hard workers.
About 90 more seconds to be played here in the first half that has been absolutely controlled by Davao. As we see Unoki, one of the goal scorers, leave it for one of the distributors once again.
That was great composure earlier from Unoki. Grabe yung pressure ni Kalukaran.
Here's the cutback. Goal number 3 for Davao.
You could say that goal is deserved because of the way they've been playing. They continue to pour on the shots as Marvin Breseño puts it in. Sabi nga natin earlier, breaking down the defense. And when they got that clear-cut chance again, as they did earlier in this game, they made this one count. Some time to set it up, Marvin Breseño, but took it well with the defense eventually adjusting, but they kind of left him some room there, and he used it to their advantage.
And the celebration there, of course, by Briseño, it felt as if it was a dummy play as well, with Endure just getting into that path para malito yung depensa ng Loyola. And I was about to say, it was 2-0 before that goal. The way Davao has been controlling this first half, it felt that lamang sila ng mas malaki. And now, it translates into a much bigger, more deserved cushion for them so far. 3-0 for the Aguilas.
There you go. And that goal of Briseño, his first in this Philippines Football League season. As Beaton tried to bring some life to them here.
And that is the halftime whistle, ladies and gentlemen. Officially, it's going to be 3-0 for the Davao Aguilas UMak FC. All Davao in the first half against Loyola FC. And what a first half that was.
Total dominance right here. We were talking about the start, right? If you're Davao, you want to start strong and just never give an opportunity to Loyola to be able to take the fight to them, and that's what they did. And it's the ideal way to start a game at tinuloy nila.
Those are the goal scorers on your screen. The scoreline is 3-0 Davao Aguilas UMak FC on top of Loyola FC. Will bring you highlights and the second half when we return. This is the Philippines Football League 2024. Back inside Rizal Memorial as we bring you second half action after the first 45 minutes of an eventful half. Davao Aguilas UMak carrying a 3-0 advantage against Loyola. Levi Verora on the call alongside Claro Manzano. Will bring Naj Miravalles later on, but dumiretso na tayo sa first half highlights, Claro. It was an exceptional first half, to say the least, for Davao, which started with this conversion.
That was goal number 1. Davao made Loyola pay the price, and when we look at it this angle, Javi Coscolwela sadly got a touch to it because that was supposedly a cross, it seemed, that was in front of the goal. Pero yan nga ulit, the individual effort of Onoki here caught the defense napping and made them pay. Eventful first half. If you are Davao, eventful in a bad way. If you are Loyola, you have your work cut out. And it just carried on wave after wave nga dito. They even rattled the woodwork as we saw. But this is a good example for Loyola of, let's say, cleaning up the garbage. But you don't like how they got themselves into that situation. Pero nandun na they reacted. That's one bright spot. But how can they convert, get good stops, convert to offense as we saw? That's one of the two by my count here. Watara, loose handles, couldn't get a grip on it because if that can continue, as that is goal number 3, kay Watara, he can lead to a gift, no? Dito para sa Loyola.
It took just 9 minutes for Davao to really go up 2-0, and it will obviously reflect in the statistics here, the 3-0 scoreline that they have. Take us through this, Claro.
And you see all the numbers right here, just pretty much favoring Davao Aguilas UMak of Coach Aber Rusgal. That just justifies or defines the way they've been dictating this game, and there's nothing else to see. Now the question here is, how will Loyola respond, right? And then if ever Loyola do try to respond, how will Davao stop them or at least contain them? But the next thing is, kasama sa response ng Loyola, will they be able to stop any goals or more goals from Davao?
And for more on this match before the second half, let's turn it over to Naj Miravalles, who has this report.
Thank you, Clara and Levi. Leaving the back end too exposed has been one of the biggest problems for Loyola FC, according to Coach Roxy. And that is what they've been aiming to resolve in recent practices. Up against a team like Davao that's very organized and confident, they know that they need to up their game, not get rattled. And though facing a formidable opponent, they need to find the courage to pull through. As I send it back to you, gentlemen.
Tumatak sa report na yon as we remind everyone to grab a bite at 8 Cuts Burgers as you enjoy the second half na paparating. But going back to Naj's report, leaving the back end exposed, that's what really got Loyola in the first half with 3 conversions from Davao.
Tama nga. We just saw from the highlights there, just justified how it was hard for them and how Davao were just plowing through. As we got to see one change for Loyola. I got to see that Rupert Banya entered halftime, and that will be formalized when we do kick this off.
Second half action underway. Rupert Ed Banya replacing, we believe it's Joe M. Logarta. And now Loyola playing from left to right. Nakaputi po sila, Davao Aguilas UMak in blue and red, the usual colors. Now with possession, playing from right to left on your screens. First few minutes of the second half, definitely Davao will just pick up from where they left off. Ang interesting dito, Claro, is how Loyola starts to play this half with this deficit.
So what I got to hear from the venue announcer is that it was Teddy Travis who stepped off para kay Rupert Banya. So they moved Charlie Beaton sa gitna, center mid alongside Aristorenas. They'll try to use more experience there. And then Rupert Banya is playing on the wing.
Frank Isaac Ano being hounded here, and eventually a foul is called.
That's what you like. You see the fight in him, despite of them being down. Because yes, it's 3-0, but if you get a goal, you can get some momentum at masaspoil yung clean sheet. If you get 2, of course, game's wide open, right? It puts you within 1. but you gotta handle what's in front of you right now. Just think, of course, one step at a time. Get that goal first. Well, if you're Davao, at the least, lock down on defense. That's the minimum. Minimum because they'll be able to hold on to the win. But performance-wise, I'm sure you could expect more.
Bola mawawala sa Loyola once again. Davao can afford to just be patient and deliberate here from the back, armed with a 3-0 advantage. 3 different goal scorers as well for Davao. No changes at the half. Intended through ball, but 30 Closa was there to disrupt. So feeling out process in the first few minutes of the second half. Davao, they know what they will be doing. They will just stick to their strengths. Loyola entering this match, again, if you're just joining us, armed with a 3-match winning streak. But it's not looking good so far for them. Lob inside, that one just rails out.
You got forward like that, now you see, you got to send in a cross, right? Just giving away there, you didn't get to connect. Now what's the next step? You're gonna build bit by bit dito. Pero sa Davao, di ba? Nandun na yung foundation nila. They started off so quickly and they did not really drop their energy. So now, how will they sustain it, di ba? Sabi ko kanina, at least hold on to the lead, but that will be a little disappointing if you are their coach, Coach Aber, or anyone else.
Couple of players down, whistle is blown, and definitely knowing Davao, they will not be satisfied with the score line just yet. It's going to be a free kick here for Loyola. Let's take a look at this once again. Forearm from Shoma Sato, I believe.
The boot also hitting the Winter Soldier's head right there. And mind you, he did hit his head earlier, or get his head hit. And that's a sensitive part, of course. We do have concussion protocol if ever anything would happen. But here, not a problem for William Winter. But I'm sure they'll run through the usual protocols later for him. Worst case, concussion protocol just for precaution.
We saw 3 Loyola players discuss. And now they will execute this set piece from just a few yards outside of the box. 4-man wall for Davao to try and bother the line of sight. Kalukaran is nearby. Charlie Beaton is nearby.
That's 3 of the most experienced players for them.
And now it's Aristorenas, gathered by Dini Watara.
Okay.
First legitimate challenge for the keeper.
You're getting your shots on target now, so you want to be able to carry that on. Yes, it could have been more lethal, more power to make it difficult for Dini Watara. But now, build on it again, as we said. But for Davao now, they'll carry that on, right?
And right on cue, a bit of pressure here from Loyola. They're going high. Now they have to recover because Davao is in their attacking half. Delapo, one of the 3 goal scorers, scored in the 6th minute. Ibabalik muna dito kay Richard Talarok. And now, Sapal in the middle. Pupunta naman sila dito sa kanan. They have the numbers here. They leave it for the right. Great connection, but not enough finish para kay Endo Endure.
Everything but the shot right here. The reason why we ended up with this chance on the right was because of that great switch by Sapal. Kita nga niya that it was loaded on the left. Switch of play, ang sabi nga nila. Traffic sa kaliwa, o punta tayo dito sa kanan. Can the defense adjust on time? If not, you can come up with an opportunity like that, yung nakita natin.
Everything but the finish there for Endo Endure. Nakita natin a miss hit. Could have easily been 4-0 from point blank. Nevertheless, Davao again with possession. Not enough numbers that time. However, Aristorenas get it back, and Loyola again just a penchant for not taking care of the ball.
We saw Sato play, or Daisuke Sato play a long ball earlier, just hoping to test the defense, but it was soundly handled by the backline ng Loyola.
Davao now starting the offensive, and that is an easy offside call to make. Uriel Dalapo way ahead of the pack.
And they've been non-stop. They've been happy, of course, the Ultras. Davao to the left of where the panel is, or the left side of the broadcast camera, the angle you see as Kante backheeled it. Arguably to himself, and he was fouled.
And now Kante in serious pain right here. Loyola, of course, will retain possession after he is able to recover from this. Endo Endure apologizing.
That happened really quick, we saw, no? So, kahit sa instant replay natin.
53 minutes and counting here for Davao, who are pretty much in control. This is Joan Logarta, and you're right, he stayed on the field. Teddy Travis out. And again, unable to take care of possession, Loyola. And now here's Endo Endure. One-on-one from the left flank. Waiting for support, of course. Sapal. Lots of space there to operate from the middle. They give it to the right side once more. Clarino. Davao taking their time. Sapal. And now ibabalik sa kaliwa. This time it's Richard Talarok. Everyone getting a touch here. And a stop there from Loyola. William Winter responsible for that.
It's those small things again. Now you want to convert into a goal, but for Davao, some questions. Where is the intensity, right? If you're Coach Aberluzgal, nasaan yung pinakita kanina in the first half? And I'm saying that because it's only 8 minutes into the game, but you never want to give any opportunity to your opponent, as we know. If we do review the previous performances of Loyola, right, they came off, I call it the Armed Forces series, where they did play Army and Air Force back-to-back. And they were sure banged up there, playing against two physical teams.
Beaton. Babalik muna dito sa likuran. Alu Wade. Saw some time for Mendiola, also Manila Digger. Now with Loyola. Good 1-2 here. And these are the build-up plays. But just as I say that, they turned it over once again. This could open up as a counter for Davao. The play has been delayed, but due to a foul from Loyola.
Well, we do see a change right here. Doso will be entering, pero ito nangyari sa replay natin. Just too much from that challenge by Wade.
Interestingly, ang papalitan rito ay yung third goal scorer, si Marvin Jake Brisencio, who scored during the added time in the first half, 45+2, which gave Davao a more comfortable 3-0 lead. Papasok si Doso Lancine.
Yun nga, no, they put him in to make sure that they are able to control the midfield even more.
And of course, a pair of fresh legs as well for Davao, just to try and inject more energy here. Davao can't really afford to play down to the level of their opponent. Just continue to sustain and build from what they did in the first half. That ball had some potential to it, but good effort from Wade to intercept.
It was a little shaky at first, but they got the job done. But it's all the small things again. You want to fine-tune. Kita nga natin yung Davao, right? Up 3-0, but we still want to carry on. It's that process again. Performance is the name of the game.
And if you're Loyola again, it's just a matter of managing that ball when you have it. Hindi na nga karamihan yung possession na nakukuha mo rito. You can't afford to throw this away. And now they go back to the middle. Pagkakataon for Loyola, aangat sila sa kanilang attacking half. This is Kante. A bit of room there in the middle. And again, miscommunication on the part of Loyola. Although somehow they recover it.
That's what you like. You're winning it in the midfield, denying the counter.
Kalukaran responsible for that. Initially, they wanted to go to the 1-2. Ibabalik muna rito kay Wade.
We acknowledged the Ultras Davao earlier, but don't you forget, on the right side of the broadcast camera is Loyola, their fan group. Frente.
And unfortunately, that is the end of that spell for Loyola. Very short and quick. Davao once again on the offensive. Richard Talarok Jr. will leave this ball for the newcomer on the field, Lancine. They lob it inside. Still Davao, and Endur is down. Not enough to merit a penalty. And this ball will just sail out into a goal kick for Coscolluela.
Cleaning up the garbage again, but yeah, you still got to do it better, of course. Almost a potential gift was just lurking there for Davao. But nonetheless, it's another stop. You'll take it as you're looking to grow.
Coscolluela directing. Sends a long one to the middle. Did get a touch from his teammate. But you love the activity here from Davao from the midfield. They're just scrappy and they're not letting anything come into fruition here for Loyola.
Some spells from Loyola on the ball, but Davao's defense doing good.
Shoma Sato brings it forward. And Davao will once again organize, just forming triangles one at a time, getting everyone involved, one touch at a time. Space here for Richard Talarok once more. Lancine targets Delapo, but they lose it. Recovered by Davao. Sapal in the middle. Now they go to the right. Cart Talarok this time.
Just a clockwork effort right here in the midfield for Davao.
Delapo could be goal number 2, but it's wide.
Javi Coscolluela saw it was wide already. From our angle, that power and the control looked a bit promising. But earlier in the spell, we did see Davao overload one side, and then, if I recall, it was Delapo. Kita nga nila, he was open on the left. So, executing that well.
Nearing the 1 hour mark of this contest. And it's a scramble in the middle once again. Ends up with Loyola this time. Winter wins that ball and will leave it for Beaton. They go inside the box. Not a decisive save by Watara, but eventually they clear.
The Davao backline got it. Sabi nga ni Sato, calm down, calma. Because Watara appeared to just dive for the ball also, then Sato cleared it off. Sato knows they could be more clean there, as this is a change at the back. The young Django Hector will be put in at center back, I presume, as 30 Closa wraps up a tough day for him. The thing with Django Hector is he is from their academy, just like William Winter, as we've said in the previous games, right? Ine-elevate or pino-promote yung mga players nila. And because he is so young, right, at 17 years of age, that's great development for him. Coach Roxy said, as there's the shot taken, if I can just end that real quick, Coach Roxy did say he's not afraid to play Hector against anybody here. He's willing also. Because, right, mabigat yung mga kalaban dito sa PFL. So, a youngster inserted in like that, that's a great experience, great exposure, right? To be the best, you have to play against the best or play against better people.
We are past the 1 hour mark here in this match. Gives us the opportunity to remind everyone that Star Polaris is the official match ball of the Philippines Football League 2024. And going back to your point, Claro, yes, you have to expose your younger players at some point to top flight competition. And yan ang ginagawa ng Loyola rito. It's not been, a pleasant evening for them, to say the least. 3-0 disadvantage here, and Davao on the offensive. Flag stays down. This could be something here for the Aguilas. They have to cut it back. Difficult angle. Here's the lob inside to Endure, but he overcooks it.
Didn't get to convert right there, but Endure, of course, has been able to find the back of the net already a few times this season. Oh, just skying that one there. Hector, I think, just did the job. Davao, right? Pursuing their agenda. Same, of course, for Loyola. But Davao, parang continuation na lang, di ba? Because they did score already. For Loyola, they're searching. Of course, they need that goal if they want to grow or get into it.
And here's a long one, Frank. Isaac Ano, bothered by two defenders. Play continues, says the referee. Loyola pa rin.
Raymart de los Santos saw no foul there, telling Frank Ano to get up, or Frank Isaac.
And Ano still down. Ball is out. That will give everyone the opportunity to attend to him. Wonder what happened there. A sliding challenge from Sho Masato. Did he get Ano solidly?
I think it was from behind. Just so much happening there, actually. I'd like to see it again. Pero may corner here.
Yeah, in any case, there is a corner earned by Loyola. So the effort paying off here, the persistence for Loyola. Good height on that delivery. That one from Alu Wade.
I think they're asking for a handball inside, but that's not the case, right? That's why they're still pleading and saying, handball daw dito. But the referee's decision sticks. No VAR here. Ooh.
So Alu Wade does get the header, and then it bounces off a defender here. And based on that reaction, might have hit him on the face.
I'd like to see another angle there, but don't you forget, when there's a handball, there's the referee's interpretation also of, or a matter of answering the question, was the hand in a natural position? This will be very interesting to see. Oh, that was pretty fast.
Again, what's clear to us is the header by Alu Wade.
That
He
is
got a
correct.
solid touch. He got a solid touch. It was a downward header, to say the least.
Ooh.
And then
The arm was outstretched.
that's the question. Was it outstretched in a manner where it was, sort of intentional to block that ball? Or was it also part of the motion by Sho Masato to try and deflect with his body?
Oh, we saw it was outstretched a little bit, right? But we leave the interpretation to the referee.
Nevertheless, it's another corner here for Loyola. And
So-
now they are going to discuss.
No, I think this is a potential card. Coach Roxy, of course, saw that also, as we know. And there you go, as expected. Sometimes when you see something like that, wala tayong VAR, referee comes back, it's most likely to book someone at the recommendation of what the fourth official saw. Again, the fourth official's extra eyes also to add to the linesmen.
And Coach Roxy still furious over that. Of course, the fourth official is Jesus Abogado.
And of course, if you're a player, you need to see your coach fight for you, right? You see your coach is fighting and standing up for you here. He's got your back, and that's all part of the game. You're one team again.
Sho Masato, meanwhile, will not be part of this play for now. Davao momentarily down to 10 men as Sato will get some treatment. We're just waiting for the whistle.
All the out. All the outfield players of Davao are here to defend this. Even in the corner previously, lahat sila going back to defend. That's how much they respect their opponents.
And here we go. A bit low on that delivery. Second ball takes a bounce.
And there you go. That went to the hand. Oh, it's going to be a yellow. I think the judgment of the referee there is that it was deliberate.
Doso Lancine booked here after that second ball. A shot from distance from, was that Aristorenas?
Let's look again here.
So there was the corner. Yes, it was Aristorenas, and then sinubukan ng umiwas ni Lancine, but his elbow, I think, still got the ball.
Right, as this eventually happened, Wade appears to be furious. So Davao were pleading their case.
And since it is
Sato just bringing the veteran moves, because the discussion, I think, is that here they're saying the arm
shoulder, yeah,
was in a natural position, right? But nonetheless, we respect the decision of the referee.
And since this is a handball, it is going to be a free kick in an encouraging spot here for Loyola, just outside of the box. We have Caloocaran there nearby. We also have Aristorenas.
JV Caloocaran has scored a number of times from distance this season already.
Four-man wall for Davao. Dini Watara, of course, waiting in between the sticks. Go signal any moment now. Here we go. And that one straight to the midst of Dini Watara, the great wall, as he preserves the clean sheet for now with about 21 more minutes left in regulation.
On target again, but you want to make it more lethal to challenge the keeper. As we see right here, that's JV Caloocaran, 4 goals to his name. I saw him take it. That was from ideal distance, not too close. Pag edge of the box, as our colleagues, madalas yung mga former players would say, pag edge of the box, masyado malapit.
Not enough numbers there for Davao, and rightfully so. Mawawala ang bola sa kanila. Good effort on the defense of Loyola, but they throw it away. Nobody home doon sa kanilang attacking third. And just like that, Davao will get this once again. Now more red and blue shirts for them. Talarok leaves it for the right flank. And this could be something here for Davao, deep into that area inside the box. Ibabalik muna Clarino. And just veteran smarts here for Clarino.
Siyempre, OJ Clarino, I think he's done it all. He's played attacking in his career. He's played in the attacking position or an attacking position, defense. Got to even not revive his career, but even prove to be that he is a valuable person nga dito. Coach OJ Clarino, coach kasi, coach din siya of the University of the Philippines, who did win the UAAP. That's the collegiate or university level, as we know.
Loyola trying to release from the back. Might have not been the best decision there. And they concede. Oh, it's a goal kick rather, but we have to bring that ball forward against that pressure.
Kante passed it back, but they were still too deep when he established his position on the wing. As we see the change here, we saw the pair make it to the technical area of Davao just moments ago.
Rendon Cielo and Axel Andres. Two players about to check in for Davao. Two more pairs of fresh legs and just injecting more energy as we enter the final 20 minutes and change of this contest. So the goal scorer, Yusuke Unoki, who scored in the 9th, as well as, is it Ibrahima Endur? Yes, Endo Endur, who is responsible for all those setups, will now be calling it a night for Davao. Ang papalit, again, Axel Andres and Rendon Cielo.
You can see that they are offensive and midfield options in hopes of carrying on the energy for them. They don't want to just sit and absorb, right?
Although it's going to be a long break, of course, with of course our match day being Sunday and the next match day is Saturday pa. But of course you want to rest some of your key players and don't risk baka ma-injure pa. It is a safe lead for them, to say the least. 3-0 for Davao as Coscolluela collects.
Tama, safe lead indeed.
Keeping it alive, Oslan Sine. And that ball will just trickle out, not enough for Cartelaro to try and recover.
Yan nga yung shock troopers ng Davao Aguilas UMak. There's Rendon Cielo and Axel Andres.
And they can still put a few more players in if they decide to use their final sub opportunity for the evening. But as it stands, 3-0 for Davao Aguilas UMak. And you can see it from the total shots here, claro, displayed on our graphic. 16-5, that spells half of the story here for Davao.
Just pretty much says so much here. 16 shots, but they've gotten 8 on target already. Yung Loyola, just 3 on target, but we saw they did not really make Watara put in the work. No? Si Watara yung goalkeeper ng Davao dito.
Here is a long cross, but Sato was there. And I said half of the story because the other half arguably is possession control as far as Davao is concerned.
That's right. They've been using possession well to be able to carve out 16 shots, right? 8 of them on target.
A throw in here for Loyola. They send it to the box. Calocaran, second ball for Loyola. It's still with them. Here's the shot! And that one finally forces Watara to commit. He will preserve the clean sheet for now. That was Charlie Beaton.
That's what we were talking about right there. But you love that by JV Calocaran. He saw that Beaton was in a slightly better area. Hence, quality shot that made the keeper work. And as we see, just take a hard fall from the looks of it and rattle himself a bit.
Great setup on the part of Calocaran. Of course, lefty to lefty in sa pagkakataon na yun. Although Watara bore the brunt of that shot.
Tandaan nga natin, he brought out his signature celebration when the game started. We haven't seen it since, kahit naka 2 goals pa yung Davao. As Coach Roxy is giving extra instructions to the Winter Soldier and Charlie Beaton.
Now, Charlie Beaton, sabihin na nating journeyman rin dito in the domestic club football scene. Lumipat ng mga club and finally, he feels as if he's home here sa Loyola with the way he's been performing throughout the course of this league so far.
That's right. Loyola's home for the 2 we just saw pictured there. That's where they got their break, playing Philippine football. But it's the shoulder of Watara. Kita nga natin dito. Let's see us landing here as Beaton gave us a lovely shot. Oh, there you go.
Can't really speculate kung ano nangyari. We just hope for the best for Watara.
He landed on his left, but it's the right.
They do have 2 more keepers in uniform, Kenneth Gubalio and Yosuke Suzuki. just in case Watara will need to really be subbed out. And they do have one more opportunity here to insert a player or two in. Talking about Coach Aber Ruzial. 77 minutes into this match. He does seem all right.
He's just trying to shake it off, of course.
And of course, this is going to be a corner for Loyola because it was saved by Watara and then out. Kalukaran will deliver. Here we go. Good height on that one, and Watara once again deflects. Foot race for this ball. And great effort for Davao, not conceding the corner. Instead, it's going to be a throw in. They also won a couple of meters back.
Tara was slow to get up there earlier. But you see now, it's compact, tough for Loyola to get through. But then again, they could just use their numbers and come up with a chance. But anyway, it was brought back.
They will leave it for Etcher here. Lugarta, Etcher, Wade, part of the defending line here for Loyola. Aristorenas to the other side. Lugarta once again.
Si Django Hector nga, a very young player in their senior team. So he just boosts that atmosphere sa Loyola Academy. He's able to connect with the youth players, yung mga bata, no? That's all part of the culture. Top to down, bottom to top. Being able to establish that sense of community and mentorship. Kahit sinasabi ko parang kuya na rin si Hector sa mga bata. The older players here are playing that mentor role to him.
And that's the continuity that you like with clubs with established youth development programs. Of course, habang tumatanda sila, aangat sila to the senior level. Sila naman yung papalitan ng mga youth players who one day would want to become mentors as well to the younger players. Aristorenas trying to go direct to Ano, but it does not materialize. Wade using the head so that, of course, Coscolwela could gather.
Update nga natin yung standings natin. If this result sticks, or with this impending result, Davao with 22 points, tied with Kaya FC Iloilo. But mind you, lamang ang Kaya due to goal difference, while Loyola will remain at 12th place. Loyola will be at 12 points, or remain at 12 points. Just above Maharlika, who have the same number of points also. Pero lamang ang Loyola FC because of goal difference, mind you. Pero you see in their scenario, bakit mahalaga they get the win is because Manila Digger are above them with 15 points. If Loyola win, they do get that cushion, right, to Maharlika, who are right below.
And if you're Loyola, you just want to be as formidable as possible. It's going to be quite an achievement here to be, in the top 7, top 8, to say the least. Pressure there from Loyola, but it will stay with Davao. Sapal having some problems to get it across. Fortunately, last touch for Loyola. Two players getting entangled. Whistle is blown.
Talking about goals, though, we can say here, I think we can conclude everyone wants to be in the top 10, right? Because that will be like that retention for the top tier dito sa Philippines Football League. But for Loyola, as Coach Kitsalangit, long-time assistant, did say they want to be able to make top 4 so they could mix it up with the big boys. But sadly, it's been a tough performance that will derail that bid.
But that is obviously in the long term here for Loyola. They just have to keep building. They do have an established culture. Roxy Dorlas, veteran tactician there, manning the helm for Loyola. And then, of course, you will get eventually another generation of players. And so long as Loyola continues to participate in the pro ranks, then maybe there's going to be a changing of the guards, and in the top 4, they will eventually reach that. But as it stands right now, of course, your top 4 squads are Kaya, Davao, Stallion, and Cebu. That has been the, sabihin na natin, no, a 4-way race to the finish. Pagkakataon for Davao. Support is coming. It will stay with Davao after that foul from Wade.
That's been their evening in a nutshell. As we see here, even before this one, you saw Winter has come up with a slide that didn't connect with anyone or the ball, but there's frustration all over the place para sa Loyola.
It's been a solid evening for the distributors of Davao. The 2 Talaroks. Of course, you also have Sapal. Just that vision that they have sa kinalalagyan nila in distributing that ball. We have Lancini here and Daisuke Sato.
You want to rack up goals again if you're Davao, although your goal difference is about plus 21, 44 yung Kaya.
Here's the lob, the header.
You'll take all you can, right? Talking of goals. As we see, Sato took it. As we saw the header, no good. Clearly not framed.
Yeah, that had promise right there. Yung nga lang, napalakas, napataas yung header for Davao in search of goal number 4. Ristorenas. Errant first touch there. And here comes Davao once more. The substitute. And now Cartalarok. Tough angle. Deflected. And a corner here conceded by Loyola. Naunahan lang on the rebound. Pero tuloy-tuloy tayo rito.
That's right.
Will they take it short? Well, looks like they will set it up to go directly into the busy area. Cartalarok pa rin. Oh, good spin on that ball, but it ends up with this entanglement. Talarok recycles. Here's the lob inside. Good presence by Caloocaran. Pero kailangan pang bumaba ng ibang Loyola players dito. Clarino changes direction and then the lob. And finally, whistle is blown. As we have a couple of substitutions here for Loyola. Usman Sidibe and Rodmel Lapitan about to enter the field. Pagpapahingahin na itong si Frank Isaac Ano. And just checking with our 4th official kung sino pa yung isang ilalabas. Joem Logarta. We'll call it an evening for Loyola.
An unideal way for Frank Ano when we refer to his first start for Loyola, but he's been giving them quality minutes and goals again off the bench.
And there have been very encouraging spells for Loyola kung saan involved itong si Frank Isaac Ano, especially in the attacking third. Now, first few touches of the ball for Lapitan. Babalik kay Wade. 86 minutes in this contest. 5 more minutes plus change. The only considerable lull in the play was when Dini Awatara went down here in the second half. So malalaman natin ilang minuto ang idadagdag ng ating 4th official. Great timing on that long ball. Pero hindi agad hinabol ni Uriel Dalapo.
You see, he wants more, Uriel Dalapo.
That's the kind of mindset that you appreciate if you're Coach Aberusgal from your players. But meanwhile, Loyola will try to protect this ball. They earn a foul right there from the middle. Taken quickly. Tuloy-tuloy tayo rito.
You like that quick play. This
Shot
one,
from
no good.
distance. May halong pagmamadali na rin ang Loyola. Of course, just trying to take one back at the very least. Pero nabanggit natin kanina, they have already played Stallion. They lost 5-0. They have already played Cebu. They also lost 5-0. Kaya hindi pa nila nakakalaban. And now Davao. So the top 4 teams, this is their third encounter with the top 4 squad. And so far, it's 3-0.
So I believe that was 4-0 to Cebu, but nonetheless, still a tough result for them, a beating.
So you may say that it's an improvement from those results, but still. And now Davao with an opening here. Talarok to Talarok. Lost it in the final moment. At ito naman yung positive aspect na nakita natin from Loyola towards the latter course of this half is the defense finally establishing themselves.
Well, it's definitely too late for them as it's desperation time now, offense-wise. You want to at least spoil the clean sheet again.
Maybe the only thing Loyola will regret as we see this potential incursion, but great defending by Shoma Sato. One of the things you'll regret here is to not have established that defensive line from the start, because either way, maybe it could have been just 2-0 or even just 1-0.
Right, we've commended Davao with the way they played so well in taking their chances, right, and maximizing them, converting them. Pero dito sa Loyola, it looks back, or we look back at that tough start, right? We're not taking anything away from Dalapo's goal, but Coscolluela, as we saw,
Had a part in that.
naging regalo, right? That you expected the routine save there, no angle, but sadly, his fingertips is what directed it on or into the goal. So of course, if we don't concede there, the game could possibly, or could have possibly, turned out different, but could have, should have, would have again. There's no point in crying over spilled milk already. As professionals they are, they'll carry on.
And another run here for Davao. Talarok 2 ahead of the pack, and good decision on the part of Coscolluela to cut the angle here and take a deflection, although he ends up limping as well. Pero ang ganda rin ang ginawa ng Davao doon. Talarok, knowing he is offside, hindi na binigay sa kanya. Choosing right. At the very least, they earn another corner. That's a department that they have also dominated in this contest.
We saw with the last spell where they won a corner, it was Oriel Dalapo. He did not get a shot, but that shows his quality.
A bit low on that delivery, and it just goes out, although last touch on a Loyola player. And it looks like we have 6 minutes of added time, similar to that match against between United City and Stallion moments ago.
Tama.
Pero syempre ang naka-contribute dyan sa 6 minutes na yan, yung stoppage nga, because Dini Watara had a problem with his shoulder.
Tapos kanina during added time, we saw, or we had a technical issue with the stadium lights. That's why we had more time added on.
And again, if you tuned in to that match, United City and Stallion Laguna splitting the points. Nakauna yung United City doon, courtesy of Troy Limbo, but a late equalizer for Stallion, salvaging the result.
I got to talk to Nur Hidayat of United City, and he of course wasn't happy with that draw. No one was happy with that draw. They needed the full points, yung Stallion at United City, right, to keep their championship hopes alive. But both teams that we mentioned, yung UCFC and Stallion, dropping points, that favors the top teams such as Davao, Cebu, Kaya, you name them.
And obviously, we're just waiting for the final whistle here, but it's safe to say, as it stands, that Davao will take home 3 points. It's going to push them up to number 2 in the league table, tied with Kaya in terms of total points. Kaya, of course, with a superior goal difference. Pero buhay na buhay ang pagkakataon dito ng Davao to really win the title as it stands.
This may be the Sapal brothers also that we have dito sa Davao. But the other player who checked in, who appears to be the fan favorite of Davao, na si Santi Rosales.
Reynald Sapal replacing Jomari Sapal. And then Tino Rosales has also entered the field for Davao. For Loyola, Mauro Acot also seeing some minutes here to conclude our contest. About 4 more minutes of football to be played. Davao dominating the first half, dictating the tempo for this match.
But you see they're keeping their back line. It's not often you change your back line, right? Especially the center backs, as we see Santi Rosales pictured. When I was referring to the defense, they're still keeping Taisuke Sato and Shoma Sato at the back just to make sure they see this one through. They're not churning out as many goals again as the other teams, but they want to shut out their opponents. They've only conceded about 2 goals in this season.
At yan ang kagandahan sa Davao. In the course of one match, you won't see them concede, more than 2 goals, 3 goals. You really just have that control of the contest. And again, a 1-0 victory over Stallion Laguna FC might be a match na babalikan nila when the season is over.
Is that for Stallion or for Davao?
For Davao, or for both, especially if you're Stallion.
Of course, Davao, they're getting the maximum, no? Akot's had some starts for Loyola also. But he's being inserted in the game, or late in the game already, where this result is pretty much done.
2 more minutes of football here. Let's just fast forward a little bit to Saturday, as Davao still on the offensive here, finally putting an end to that is Loyola. Don Bosco Garelli United, flying home from Cebu, will face off against Manila Monte. Stallion Laguna will be back in action against the Philippine Air Force. And then Manila Digger going up against One Taguig. 2 squads that also have their roots in Taguig. Of course, One Taguig being officially recognized as the team from the LGU, but Manila Digger playing at McKinley Hill. Those are the 3 matches this coming Saturday.
Props to Loyola, they're still playing hard in this one. Just as Watara, it's been his day, kaya sumayaw siya, no? He did do that early in the game. That means it was gonna be that type of day. But again, props here to Loyola. It's 3-0, right? But they've been able, or they weren't just walked over like the other results we've seen in the Philippines Football League. As we're expecting a card, or nakita nga na natin. But they're not just getting walked over with the way we saw lopsided scorelines in other games.
Mauro Acot,
No doubt there sa card.
booked after 2 minutes of playing time. Still has to be careful here. I mean, you still have games to play. And who knows, baka magamit ka in the next few games. So you have to manage those yellows.
Yeah, unnecessary yellow. Kita nga natin tapos na yung result. Nilalabas lang yung inis. And that's not how you do it. But of course, you understand why they're frustrated when we refer to Loyola.
Final few moments of what has been an all Davao encounter here. It does look as if it was tighter than the way they controlled this match. Just, quote-unquote, just a 3-0 scoreline for Davao, but they will take home the full 3 points and they will move up to number 2 in the league table with a legitimate shot at really challenging for the title in the 2024 season of the Philippines Football League. Huling pagkakataon na marahil for Loyola as they lob one into the box, but it is met. Follow-up here perhaps, but they lost control. And that is the confirmation. Davao Aguilas UMak FC will bring home 3 more points as they move to number 2. And what a match it has been for the Aguilas. Just controlling the pace of this match from start to finish. And also for that man on your screens, preserving the clean sheet.
And as we see again, Davao, right, carrying that underdog tag heading into this Philippines Football League campaign. But with the way they're playing, it seems they belong with the top dogs right here. And although their goals all came in the first half, they absolutely controlled this game.
Well, the underdog tag or label has always been their identity, but now with the way they're playing, obviously a legitimate contender for the title. But even if they are one of the 4 favorites, sabihin na natin, they still would want to play with that underdog mentality. It's more of the identity for them as we await sino ba ang tatanghalin na man of the match. But let's have a quick recap. Again, 2 quick goals in a span of just less than 4 minutes for Davao. We have Oriel Dalapo in the 6th of a deflection. It went in, and then in the 9th, great setup by Endo Endur for Yusuke Unoki. That doubled the advantage during that time. And then finally, the insurance goal as early as the first half is from Marvin Bricencio in the 45th +2. And that's the final tally, 3-0 for Davao Aguilas UMak.
And with that underdog tag also, let's just add a little, let's say, a little input, because they are working with limited resources, I believe, relative to the other established PFL clubs also, right? So maybe that's another talking point also as we run through it here. One of the shots put in by Loyola in hopes of fighting back again, because they did start off on the back foot and were flat for the duration of this game. It was mainly, or it was the Sato and Friends show, as we know. Wala nga yung dalawang Sato, and they were also missing another main man in their last game. Wala si OJ Clarino, as we were told. Pero Davao, right, picked up a statement win previously. But here, now that they're back with everyone, this is still a big one. Mahalaga yung clean sheet and the way they performed here. Could we have expected some more goals from Davao? I think we could say so also. But if we look at it, malamang, masaya sila. They've got the 3 points, but mission's not done here, of course. But for Loyola, their job right here, or their mission or objective, gets derailed a bit because they do have Maharlika lurking behind them sa standings, no?
It's going to be back to the drawing board here for Loyola, but do give them credit as they forced Davao to, at least a scoreless second half. And they played with more aggressiveness, earned some free kicks, earned some shots. And now let's send you over to the man of the match, who is with Naj Miraballes. Naj, take it away.
Okay na.
Thank you, Clara and Levi. I'm here with the moment man of the match, Daisuke Sato, with 4 interceptions and was able to hold the defense together. Hi, Sato. 3-0 in the first half, but you guys stayed consistent all throughout the game. How important was this at this point?
We demand, to each other. We have a high standard, so we take every game serious. I'm very happy with the 3 points. Again, the clean sheet. Even though we play against not a strong team, but we take every game very serious. So we have standard very high. So I'm very happy with today's game, and then some of the boys who never play get some minutes today, and then overall I'm very happy.
Speaking of taking every game seriously, still undefeated, what does this say about your team heading shortly into the important part of the season?
Yeah, next game we have Cebu, UCFC.
Yeah.
They're the strongest side. I mean, of course, they're consistent. We have big respect for them, but we are not going there to just have holiday. We're gonna give some fight. We have some injury also in the team, some hard time now, but we're gonna give a good fight. That's what we can promise to our supporters. We will go 100%.
Thank you, Sato, and congratulations. Once again, Daisuke Sato, back to you, gentlemen.
The moment player of the match, Daisuke Sato, holding that defensive line for Davao Aguilas. And on behalf of our entire production here, our direct is Koy Yupanco. From pitch side, Nach Miravalles, my partner right here, the analyst Claro Manzano. This has been Levi Verora on the call. Do stick around. We have more matches on Saturday next weekend. This is the Philippines Football League 2024. And as I always say, wherever you are, wherever you're from, we'll see you at the games.
Always trying to put me down on the ground, but I never be jealous, 'cause I do right in their back.